All right, let's jump into this deep dive. And today we're taking a look at Exodus chapter 37.
Exodus 37.
Specifically,
Yeah.
we're talking about the Israelites in the Sinai.
Right.
You know, they're getting instructions from God on how to build the tabernacle.
Yes.
It's really fascinating stuff.
Absolutely.
And we've got this amazing commentary from My Christian Space that we're going to be looking at today to kind of help us guide our deep dive.
It's a great resource.
Yeah, and it's really interesting because it's not just like hammers and nails.
Right.
Like, you know?
It's very symbolic.
It is. It's packed with meaning.
It really is, yeah.
So I'm excited to get into it.
It's truly remarkable how this chapter kind of blends the practical with the profoundly symbolic.
Yeah.
On one hand, it's like a divine IKEA manual for building a sacred space.
I love that.
But on the other, it reveals a lot about God's interaction with his people.
That's so true.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's start with the VIP of sacred furniture, the Ark of the Covenant. Our commentary really zooms in on all the details here. It talks about acacia wood overlaid with pure gold.
Pure gold.
Yeah.
It's not something you see every day.
No, that's not your average furniture combo, right?
Yeah.
What's the significance of those materials?
Well, you hit the nail on the head. It's not your average furniture combo at all.
Yeah.
Acacia wood is incredibly durable.
Right.
Perfect for that harsh desert environment.
That's the practical side.
Absolutely, the practical side.
Yeah.
But then you cover it in gold, the ultimate symbol of purity and divinity.
Right.
And boom, it's elevated to something holy, set apart.
Yeah.
A powerful visual representation of God's presence.
Yeah, among them.
Among them, exactly.
And then there's the lid of the Ark's the mercy seat.
Oh, yes.
Hammered from a single piece of solid gold.
Can you imagine?
I mean,
The craftsmanship alone.
the craftsmanship alone is just mind-blowing.
It really is. It's mind-blowing.
Yeah. It's incredible.
Imagine the skill and dedication that went into creating that.
I know.
But it's not just about aesthetics.
Right.
The mercy seat played a crucial role in the atonement rituals,
Yeah.
symbolizing the place where God's mercy and justice meet.
Okay.
It's where the high priest would sprinkle the blood of the sacrifice on Yom Kippur,
Right.
seeking forgiveness for the people's sins.
Wow, I'm getting chills just thinking about it.
It's powerful imagery.
And let's not forget what the Ark contained.
Oh, yes.
The 2 tablets of the 10 Commandments.
The Ten Commandments.
Talk about a powerful symbol of God's covenant.
Exactly. The ark wasn't just a pretty box.
Yeah.
It was a physical embodiment of God's presence, his law,
His promise.
his promise to his people.
Okay, so moving on to something maybe a little less intense.
Okay.
The table of showbread.
Right.
Our commentary calls it the bread of the faces.
Yes.
Which,
A little mysterious.
it sounds kind of mysterious, right?
It does, a little bit.
Like, what is that? It also mentions a weekly ritual, too.
So what's that all about?
The bread of the faces. A fascinating ritual. Every week, 12 loaves of unleavened bread were placed on this table,
Okay.
representing the 12 tribes of Israel.
Right.
And it was a constant reminder of God's provision for his people,
Even in the wilderness.
even in the wilderness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's interesting how the table's construction, it echoes the ark,
Right.
again with that acacia wood and gold combo.
Yeah.
Is there a connection there?
Absolutely. That consistency in design emphasizes the sacredness
Okay.
of this seemingly simple piece of furniture.
Yeah.
It's a subtle but powerful way of saying, hey, even the bread you eat is holy.
Wow.
A gift from
A
God.
gift from God.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hold on. The commentary mentions something about the bread staying fresh for a whole week
Oh, yeah.
in the desert.
In the desert.
It's got to be some kind of miracle bread.
It is miraculous, isn't it?
It makes you think about the impact of God's presence, doesn't it?
It certainly does. Imagine that.
Bread staying fresh in that scorching desert heat.
I know.
It speaks to the extraordinary nature of God's provision,
Yeah.
transcending the limitations of the natural world.
Right. And there's also a beautiful connection to the Sabbath here, too.
There is.
Ooh, tell me more about that.
Well, remember, the priests weren't allowed to work on the Sabbath,
Right.
but they could still partake in this holy bread,
Right.
a symbol of God's continuous care, even in their time of rest.
Yeah.
And a beautiful reminder that God's provision extends to every aspect of our lives,
Mm-hmm.
even in our moments of rest and rejuvenation.
Wow. That puts a whole new spin on Sunday brunch. Okay, so next up, we got the menorah,
The menorah,
and this one's a showstopper.
it is a showstopper.
Our commentary says it was hammered from a single lump of gold.
A single lump of gold.
I mean, the sheer size of it,
It's massive.
talk about a challenge.
The menorah is truly a remarkable piece, both in its craftsmanship and symbolism.
Oh, yeah.
And the commentary links it to the tree of life from Genesis, which represents growth, abundance, and enlightenment.
Right.
It also points out the almond blossom cups,
Right.
a key design element known as shakide in Hebrew.
Wait, shakide?
Shakide, yes.
Doesn't that also mean watchful?
It does.
So these cups, they're not just pretty decorations.
Oh.
They're a symbol of God's constant watchfulness over his people.
Exactly.
I love how even the smallest details are packed with meaning.
It's beautiful, isn't it?
It is.
And according to Jewish tradition, the menorah's light was so brilliant that it was visible throughout Jerusalem.
Wow.
Can you imagine that? This golden lampstand shining its light,
Beacon of hope.
a beacon of hope and faith for the entire city.
That's incredible. Okay, shifting gears now
Okay.
to something a bit less flashy maybe. The altar of incense.
The altar of incense.
It might not have the bling factor of the ark or the menorah,
Right.
but our commentary makes it clear that it's equally important.
Oh, absolutely.
And guess what? We've got that acacia wood and gold combo again.
There it is again.
Practical, yet holy.
It's becoming a theme.
It's becoming a theme here.
Yes, it is.
What's crucial about the altar of incense is its purpose.
Yes.
It wasn't just a decorative element.
No, not at all.
The burning of incense was a deeply symbolic act,
It was.
connecting the earthly realm to the divine.
Exactly.
The commentary even references Revelation 8,
Yes.
where the incense is mixed with the prayers of God's people.
Yes. Their prayers are rising up to heaven along with the fragrant smoke.
Whoa, so it's like their prayers are rising up to heaven along with that smoke.
Beautiful imagery, isn't it?
I never thought about it that way before.
Yeah.
And speaking of fragrance, the commentary also talks about this unique formula for the incense and the anointing oil.
Yes.
It really drives home the point that even the smallest details were divinely ordained.
Absolutely. Nothing was left to chance.
Nothing was left to chance.
That's right. Every ingredient, every measurement, every step in the crafting of these objects was carefully prescribed by God.
It's like he's saying, this is how much I care,
Exactly.
down to the smallest detail.
Down to the smallest detail.
And looking at these objects as a whole,
Yeah.
they weren't just functional.
No.
They were tangible representations of God's presence,
Absolutely.
his covenant,
Yeah.
his unwavering love for his people.
Beautiful.
It's a powerful message
It is a powerful message.
that transcends time and culture.
It does.
So we've got this incredibly detailed blueprint for building this sacred space, objects imbued with divine symbolism.
Right.
But what does it all mean for us today?
That's the question, isn't it?
We're not wandering in the desert
Right.
building a tabernacle.
No.
How do we connect with these ancient symbols and rituals
Yeah.
in a modern context? What do you think?
That's a great question. It's something that each of us needs to ponder individually. Yeah. What objects, what rituals, what practices in our own lives connect us to something larger than ourselves? How do we find the sacred in the everyday?
Yeah.
What are the whispers from the past that guide us in the present?
Ooh, whispers from the past. I like that. And I think Exodus 37 is full of those whispers.
It is.
Whispers about God's presence, his provision, his love.
Absolutely.
It's a message that resonates across time and circumstance.
It does. It really does.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really does. It resonates.
It does.
Yeah.
I love that image. Whispers from the past,
Whispers.
guiding us in the present.
Yeah.
But it's not just about receiving those whispers, right?
No, not at all.
It's about responding to them.
Exactly.
Well, how do we, in turn,
Right.
become vessels of God's love and grace in the world?
That's the heart of it, isn't it? It's about translating those ancient whispers
Yeah.
into modern action.
Right.
Exodus 37 isn't just about appreciating these beautiful objects.
Right.
It's a call to live our lives with intentionality
Yeah.
and a deep awareness of God's presence.
Okay, but let's be real for a second.
Yeah.
It's so easy to get caught up in the daily grind
Oh, absolutely.
and lose sight of that deeper connection.
Right.
How do we stay grounded, especially when life throws curveballs?
Yeah.
How do we keep those whispers alive amidst the noise?
It's a challenge, isn't it?
It is.
I think it comes back to those tangible reminders,
Okay.
those rituals, those practices that root us in our faith.
Okay.
Think about it.
Yeah.
Even in the wilderness,
Right.
surrounded by chaos and uncertainty,
Mm-hmm.
the Israelites were instructed to create this elaborate tabernacle
Right.
to establish a rhythm of worship,
Right.
to carve out a space for the sacred.
Yeah.
It was a way of staying connected to God,
Yeah.
of remembering who they were and whose they were.
So you're saying that even in the midst of their challenging journey, they were intentional about creating a framework for their faith.
Absolutely.
And that we can do the same today.
Yes.
Even if our wilderness looks different.
Exactly. It's about finding those practices,
Right.
those rituals, those anchors
Yeah.
that help us stay connected to God,
Yeah.
even when life gets messy.
Mhm.
For some people, it might be spending time in nature,
Oh, okay.
feeling that sense of awe and wonder that connects them to the Creator.
Right.
For others, it might be reading Scripture,
Mhm.
finding wisdom and guidance in those ancient words.
Yeah.
It could be something as simple as lighting a candle during prayer,
Yeah.
creating a visual reminder of God's presence.
It's about making space for the sacred,
Yes.
whatever that looks like in our individual lives.
Precisely. And it's not just about personal piety.
Right.
It's about letting that connection overflow into our actions,
Okay.
into how we treat others,
Yeah.
into how we engage with the world around us.
Right.
Remember, those objects in the tabernacle weren't just for show.
Right.
They were used in rituals and ceremonies that impacted the entire community.
Okay.
They were a visible reminder of God's presence and covenant, not just for individuals,
Yeah.
but for the whole people.
So it's about taking those whispers from the past and turning them into actions in the present.
Yes.
About letting our lives reflect the beauty and truth we find in our faith.
It's a tall order, isn't it?
It is, but it's not about achieving perfection.
Right.
It's about striving,
Yes.
seeking,
Yes.
continuously aligning our lives with God's purpose.
Exactly.
And Exodus 37
Mm-hmm.
offers us this powerful model for that.
It does.
It reminds us that even seemingly mundane objects,
Yeah.
when crafted with intention and reverence,
Right.
can become vessels of the divine.
Absolutely.
And that even in the wilderness,
Mhm.
even when we feel lost or alone,
Yeah.
God is with us,
Providing
guiding
Yeah.
and loving us unconditionally.
unconditionally.
It's a message that transcends time and circumstance.
Yes, it does.
A message that speaks to the deepest longings of the human heart.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Exodus 37 is a testament to the power of faith
Yeah.
to transform even the most ordinary objects into vessels of the sacred. It's a reminder that God's presence can be found everywhere
Yeah.
if we have the eyes to see it
And the heart to receive it.
and the heart to receive it.
It's a reminder that we're not just building furniture,
Yeah.
we're building a relationship,
Right.
a connection that
Yeah.
can sustain us through life's challenges
Mhm.
and fill us with hope and purpose.
Beautifully said. It's a legacy worth preserving, a story worth sharing.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into Exodus 37,
Yeah.
I want to leave you with a question to ponder.
Okay.
What sacred objects or rituals in your own life connect you to something larger than yourself?
What whispers from the past are guiding you in the present?
And how can you, in turn, become a beacon of light and hope in the world? Yeah, those are great questions for us to think about.
It is amazing, isn't it, to think that these objects and rituals can still speak to us
Thousands of years later,
thousands of years later.
it's incredible.
It really is a testament to the enduring power of faith
Mm-hmm.
and the human desire to connect with something larger than ourselves.
Yeah.
You know, Exodus 37,
Yeah.
it isn't just a historical account.
Right.
It's a blueprint
Yeah.
for living a life of intentionality, faith, and connection.
Exactly. It's like a reminder that the sacred can be found in the most unexpected places.
It can.
Even in the middle of the desert.
Yeah.
Even in the everyday objects and routines of our lives.
Absolutely. It all comes down to perspective, doesn't it?
It does.
The Israelites were instructed to build this tabernacle, this portable sanctuary,
Right.
because they were constantly on the move.
Mhm.
But the message for us, I think,
Yeah.
is that we can create that sacred space wherever we are,
Right.
with whatever we have.
It's about bringing that same level of intention
Yes.
and reverence to our lives.
To our relationships,
To our work.
our work, to everything we do.
Everything we do. Yeah, it's about recognizing that God's presence isn't confined to a specific building or time or ritual,
No,
but that it can permeate every aspect of our lives
every aspect.
if we're open to it.
If we're open to it, absolutely.
Exactly. And it's not about achieving some kind of spiritual perfection.
No, not at all.
It's about the journey,
It is.
the seeking,
Like kicking, yeah.
the constant striving to align ourselves with God's purpose.
Exactly.
It's about those whispers from the past guiding us in the present, shaping our actions,
Yes.
inspiring us to become beacons of light and hope in the world.
Beautiful.
So to everyone listening,
Yeah.
keep exploring,
Keep exploring.
keep seeking,
Keep seeking.
keep listening for those whispers. They
Yeah.
might just lead you to something extraordinary.
It might.
And until next time, may your own deep dives be filled with discovery and wonder.
Absolutely. I love that.
Thanks for joining us.
It's been a pleasure to